Well, hello everyone. A happy new year from the SmoshCast. Guys, since it's now 2020, I figure why don't we just talk about 2019 for a second? This was our first year ever doing a podcast. We did 44 episodes in total. I guess we have maybe around 3,000 minutes of audio or 50 hours of us just talking about absolutely nothing. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for being there through all this nonsense. The podcasts have been really fun to do. I learned a lot about each other. I hope that you guys learned a little something about us and something about the world. Let's take this moment to look back at some of our favorite moments from the first year of the SmoshCast. So we'll start at the very beginning and work our way through chronologically. Real quick before we begin, I just want to give a quick shout out to Anchor and Sleep Number for sponsoring today's episode. So this first clip that I want to show you guys is Courtney, myself, and Damien, and we're talking about sexuality, and Courtney has a little surprise for us.
Lilly Singh, she tweeted, and it's kind of the same thing. Like it's like you said with John Wayne. You're like, oh, what do you think? A 1970s cowboy? Of course, he had that kind of opinion type thing. Lilly Singh tweeted, "I'm a woman. I'm colored. I'm bisexual. And these are my powers." And apparently that was her coming out.
Right.
And like for me, it was like we've been new. Like I thought, I was like, wait, I thought everybody knew that.
We've been new.
Yeah.
I mean,
I thought it was a thing.
you can never assume, and you never want to.
True.
And then obviously that's one other thing. You never want to out somebody,
of course,
unless they've clearly outed themselves.
Yeah.
Especially if you get it wrong.
Imagine if I tweeted, like, how Lilly Singh is bisexual, and she like didn't even say anything like that. That would not be good.
A world of oops.
Yeah.
Big old basket of whoopsie daisies.
I think that's super important. It's not just like sexuality, but also people that struggle with mental health.
Yeah.
People that struggle.
Normalizing those things is so important, and like there's a thing too. Like I am not straight. That's something that I only recently started working through, and I'm still kind of working through it. But it is something that I've felt is important for people to know, because it's like, let's normalize, like it's so important to normalize things that people are insecure about. Like I'm still a little insecure about like what exactly it is. Like I remember when I didn't even realize it literally until a couple years ago when I started, because I grew up in the Mormon church, and when I was 12, I realized that Mormons hated, or a lot of them, I won't generalize, but when Prop 8, the gay marriage like proposition was a thing, a lot of my friends in the Mormon church were like, gays are bad, all this terrible thing. And I was like, whoa. And I left the church at that point. Wasn't until I was 21-ish that I was like, all my life I'd kind of wondered, and like the fact that I kept wondering, it wasn't like a naive like, am I gay? I don't know. It was definitely like, man, this is something that I need to relax and like think about, because for so long I was like, yeah, I'm straight. That's what I am, because that's what I thought I was supposed to be. But like there was so many conflicting things with that. I don't know if I'm bisexual, but because like that's kind of limiting to gender, because I've definitely found people who are gender fluid like attractive. Just I don't know, everybody's hot. I don't know, man, like
it's a spectrum.
And I remember the first people I told it was definitely Matt, Rob, and Joe Beretta were there. It was a Defy Media Christmas party.
Whoa.
And that was the first time.
I didn't know this.
Yeah. That was the first time I'd said out loud that I don't think I'm straight. And because the longest time I like was just thinking about it and kind of like let those walls down that I'd had up for a long time. I'm hot in the face right now.
Well, I fully support everything you're saying. And I think the coolest thing is there might be a kid or anybody out there right now who really needs to hear this, especially coming from you.
And it feels very much like a fluid thing. And I think I have a weird type too, like, because, when I was a kid, my mom had a lot of drawing books and like comic book books, including this Wonder Woman one that I always loved. I really loved the artwork and everything. And so literally a couple months ago, I messaged my mom and I was like, hey, like, do you have that Wonder Woman book? That super old one. I'd love to like add it to my collection. I have drawing books. I have a Guardians of the Galaxy book, like for my coffee table. And she sent it to me and I'm going through it and it's just really sexually charged drawings of women. And I was like, oh, okay. That's why I like looking at that. And so basically my type is Wonder Woman. Just
hey, I mean, I think that's something we can all agree on.
Or fist pounding. But before...
Sorry, my knuckles are super dry.
It's okay. Before fans get weird, I just, like, something I realized throughout all this just now is, like, Olivia and I have kissed in videos. Calm down. We definitely do those for views. I'm not, like... Olivia shipping, Courtney shipping is a fun thing, but, like, I'm not attracted to Olivia. I'm not attracted to any Mari, Sarah. Nobody. It's not like, oh, every girl is a potential for me. Like that's a general thing.
It's the same thing.
It's the same for all that.
Yeah, I'm straight. Not every girl that I interact with, I have to date.
Our first video together, speed drawing, like people were immediately, since I was this new girl in a video, making sexual comments. Like it's just what happens. Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to disclose that. Like, Olivia, I love you. I'll kiss you any day you need. But like, I'm not into you like that. Sorry, babe. Like
for sure.
But yeah.
Well, I applaud you for talking about this. I really do, because I think like you said, whatever the thing is, whether it's mental health, whether it's sexuality, whether it's gender, whether it's anything, like things are only quote unquote weird because we don't talk about them. Mm-hmm. That's why, like, when I get the opportunity, I talk about mental health stuff all the time, anxiety, panic attacks, paranoia, like all that good stuff. I deal with that. I do. And it's only weird because it's not talked about. And it's not your job to talk about it necessarily, but I think you have done and can do a lot of good, because there's someone out there right now who's just like probably bawling, being like, oh my God, that's me and it's okay. Like, I'm proud of you.
It's so important.
And I think you bring up a good point where you said, I don't know what I am, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Because I think people feel such a need to adhere themselves to a specific identity that they might not actually completely.
Yeah. People need to label things.
Yeah,
and feel secure and.
But like, we should probably stop doing that so much.
Yeah, completely.
but I think that there is some safety in that, in saying, I don't know, but I'm figuring it out. And especially like young people, like, everybody's had the thought before, like, am I?
Yeah, everyone wonders.
What is this, you know?
I didn't know what anxiety was until like 16, because it's not something that was talked about.
Sure.
And I wasn't on the internet that much at that time. It's like, you got to talk about that stuff. People need to know.
I was diagnosed OCD 2 years ago, and I had no idea that what I was experiencing was OCD, because I just took that as like, I've got to organize stuff and check this doorknob 6 times. That is OCD. And it's just like, oh no, it's the way my mind works and how I deal with things, which leads to anxiety, yada, yada, yada. And I've got to say, you know, even though this doesn't have to do with sexuality, I can understand the comfort in finding a label. You know, even if it's better to maybe not label so you can like figure things out, you know, finding out that I had a word for what I was feeling, I could be like, I have OCD.
Yeah.
It's the same way with someone who goes like, I'm bi, got it, check, done. Like, you know.
I definitely, like, the most secure way to say it for me is just being like, oh yeah, I'm not straight. Like, that's just because, and I could be pansexual, it could just be bisexual, I don't know, whatever, but like, I just realized in these last couple years, and it was like right as I was in a new relationship, that I was like, wow. And like, I remember I was coming out to certain people, but like, my stomach growled just so loud. I hope you all heard that.
I did not hear that.
Some people, I didn't go about it the right way. Like, I thought people knew already, and they'd be like, oh, I didn't know that. And like, I definitely had some people that probably got upset when they found out. Like, and you'll never really know who's tolerant of that stuff. Like, I didn't know that I had a homophobic person in my friend circle. Like, you'll never know. And sometimes, you will never find that out. But it's crazy, man. It's been a journey.
Sometimes people need time to, like, you know, maybe if they were like, I don't know, but like, I think I said this in my stream recently. Somebody was just like, I came out to some friends and my best friend won't talk to me now. And I said, like, unfortunately, try your best to be the bigger person and forgive them for yourself for now, to try to like save yourself a lot of grief, because they might not have never actually been exposed to anybody that they knew was gay before. And then once they do some thinking, they'll be like, oh, that person is still that person. Holy crap. And so then 2 weeks later in the stream, they're like, yo, my best friend reached out and apologized and now we're hanging out again.
Great.
And it's just like, well, there you go. Like,
And that person that was upset when they found out, they didn't tell me they were upset. I could just very much tell, and then they basically told me that they were homophobic later. But they're still in my life. I think it's okay to have people around. Like, don't just keep people with the same opinions as you. I mean, it's good to have those people, but it's also good. I mean, homophobia is a terrible thing.
Yeah, that's not an opinion we really welcome around these parts.
No. And just be tolerant, be accepting, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, not whatever, but you know what I mean. That person's still in my life. I don't hate them. It's, like we are all here on our own path. So
yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing that, Courtney. That takes a lot. And I think, for some of the people listening, I think that's something that needs to be heard. I'm always a big supporter of getting these sort of problems out here, and that's what podcasts are really good for, because everyone's struggling with something, and it's nice to hear that other people have these things going on.
Totally.
With my ex Pam, she was a cancer survivor, and she always kept it secret.
Yeah,
and when we were together, I told her, like, this is you could help people by talking about it, raising awareness.
Totally.
And when she had her sort of last scare, she then started talking about it more and being more involved in the community.
It's awesome.
And it really helps people.
What a sweet clip. Okay, so this next one is episode 5, where it's Courtney, myself, and MatPat from the Game Theorists. And MatPat brings up one of the worst ideas that was ever pitched to Smosh back in the Defy days. Enjoy.
So, did you have a hand in like the strategy at all, or when we brought in like? I just want to know in depth a little bit more.
Man,
like,
my secret role behind the scenes.
I know you're the Agent Cody Banks of Defy. Like,
Oh, God.
sorry, I'm bringing in the weirdest, oldest, most obscure references.
These pop culture references are gold right now. I mean, it's interesting, and it's funny to hear Ian talk about like Defy, like the higher ups at Defy wanting to fast forward that process and kind of like
just jam it down their throats.
Yeah, shoehorn it in as quickly as possible, because this was the same group of people who are also promoting the idea of doing Black Smosh.
Oh yeah.
Like,
God.
unironically wanting to do Black Smosh.
Yep.
Which I wasn't sure. Like, had you had those conversations with the team? Clearly, based on your reaction, you did.
There was somebody higher up. I'm not going to say their name. For many years,
This
one
is
of
a true story.
one of their dream projects was to create Black Smosh, which what they wanted to do was cast a group of black people to create, shall we say, urban comedy. They were like, well, there's this whole other audience out there. So we just need to create Black Smosh.
Well, yeah, I mean, basically the thought process of this person in the meetings that we were having was, well, we have this back catalog of funny scripts. So if we just, change out the 2 white dudes for different demographics, we have tons of new verticals, and you reuse the same scripts, but just kind of like mix it up a little bit. And his first spinoff was always going to be Black Smosh, followed by, female Smosh, gay Smosh. Like, it was bad.
Yeah, that's rough.
Like that is
so rough.
truly spilling the tea.
Every time they brought it up, and that's really funny. I've never mentioned the whole Black Smosh thing.
Probably smart of you to not mention it.
Yeah, but every time they brought it up, it was just like, no.
And here's another weird freaking reference. Hairspray, how there's like Negro Day on the dancing show. That doesn't, and I'm sorry, that's rough. But like it's just that I get that vibe when I hear about what they were trying to do.
Well, and the thing was, the first time, because again, I'm this young guy who, you know, has only been working at this company for about a year, but I'm like the guy who understands YouTube. I'm the guy who's been able to build up my own channel in the background. Like, I was the representative of like the digital video ecosystem and optimization, right? And so I'm in these rooms with all these traditional media guys who had been working in TV for years and had, you know, decent levels of success there. You know, suddenly now, like, let's figure out ways to capitalize off of these brands that we have and this and that. And he tosses out this idea. And at first, like, everyone, you know, me and a couple other people in the room are like, haha, that's an idea. But really, but they were so serious about it was the thing. Like, they legitimately thought that there was no problem with it and that it was totally fine. And of course, at that point, the conversation fundamentally shifts to like, oh no, you're taking it, like, absolutely not. Do not do this. This is horrific for so many reasons.
Were they wanting to call it that? Like, actually?
Well, that was always just the sort
like
of
the working title?
Yeah, the working title. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with you know, two black dudes doing comedy. Obviously, Key and Peele was probably one of the greatest sketch shows ever made, but it wasn't for the sake of representation. It was for the sake of like, let's just get this other thing going to appeal to this other group because we don't believe that two white guys are going to be enjoyed by black people.
This is actually why I'm shocked to hear that you also know this, because to me, when that was brought up in the room, I'm like, this is unbelievable. I can't believe that someone would actually legitimately think of this as an idea. And so now to hear that it was also brought up to you and you also had to shoot it down.
Yeah, multiple times.
Like, it's unbelievable to me.
Yeah. It kind of became a running joke about this person because it's just ludicrous.
Right?
It doesn't make any sense.
It's amazing.
Wild.
Yeah. So there you go. I do remember the other joke that he would toss out when it came to like some of the other verticals, and obviously bringing up like gay Smosh, LGBT Smosh, because that's a whole new community. The joke was, though, that they already had gay Smosh because you and Anthony were already hosts.
Anthony,
Nice.
baby.
Did they toss that joke your way?
Probably.
Okay.
There was another.
Just so we have full transparency here of what was being said behind the scenes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, you got to keep those fan fictions going.
Sure.
Wow. That was a clip. Well, before we get to the next clip, let's take a quick break. Well, as we are all aware, it is the new year and we've all made resolutions. Some of those resolutions to be, get better sleep. I think sleep is insanely important. One of the big factors to sleeping well is having a good bed. That's where Sleep Number's got your back, baby. Sleep Number has this individual fit technology only at Sleep Number stores. If you want to check it out, you can visit a Sleep Number store to explore the science behind the bed. You can discover the comfort for you and your partner. Visually see your body's pressure points react to a Sleep Number 360 smart bed. Discover proven quality sleep with the Sleep Number 360 smart bed. Save $1,000 on a Queen Special Edition smart bed. Now, just $17.99 during the January sale. Only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com/cadence. That's sleepnumber.com/cadence. So this next clip comes from episode 10, and it's with myself, Shane, and our writer, Monica, and they discuss a scrapped idea called Tinder for Hot Dogs. Enjoy.
Monica had a few pitches. She was like, this sketch, and Tinder for Hot Dogs was an idea I had, and I just go, yes!
Shane
Tinder
was
for
all
hot
in, so I was like, this is obviously a great idea and viable.
Yeah.
So then I pitched it at a pitch meeting, and no one gave it the respect it deserved.
Well, hold on. I'm pretty sure I said something akin to yes.
I mean, dude, Tinder, come on. First of all, beyond a sketch, it's a good idea. It's just a genuinely good product. You want a hot dog, but there's many types of hot dogs, but the world, our economy doesn't cater to differentiating between hot dog tastes.
Right. And for hot dogs being such an American food, we don't like we don't put it in the spotlight enough.
We really don't.
This is true.
And-
And it's like sometimes you're in the mood for a Nathan's, sometimes you're in the mood for a Hebrew National.
But see, you're talking about different brands. We're going beyond that.
Oh.
See, Tinder for Hot Dogs, from the simplicity of an app on your phone,
Go on.
you're getting like, do you want a bratwurst? Do you want beef? Do you want
That's
turkey? These are all the different types of dogs.
What
not a
flavor
hot dog,
profile do
though.
you
What
want?
flavor profile?
See-
What sauces do you want? It gets, and type of buns you get. Oh my God, at the extremes,
And you want to know that it's close by. Like I want to know that I don't have to travel more than 4
Yeah,
miles.
you want to see how close, and you can specify in your bio. It's like dogs under 6 inches. Swipe left. Get really specific with it. This podcast is brought to you by Tinder for Hot Dogs. No, it's
should just
great.
make
It's a
that.
great idea. It's funny, but it's also good.
I have to admit, I tried to write it. I got nowhere. I think Ryan Finnerty left me an hour to write it, and I tried so hard. I got 6 lines in, and I was like, I'm just gonna work on something else because I hate this while I'm
Just
working on it.
hand me the reins, and I'll give you an autobiography on Tinder for Hot Dogs.
You're gonna write Tinder for Hot Dogs. Is that what you're saying, right
But
here?
an autobiography, so from the point of view
of your
Tinder
life.
for Hot
I
Dogs.
don't know what I was going. I'll give you a book the size of the Odyssey
Well,
for Tinder for Hot Dogs.
you know what I think? I think if enough listeners give us a 5-star review with the review saying "make Tinder for Hot Dogs," then we're gonna have to make Tinder
Yes,
for Hot Dogs. If we get
please give
enough,
me those
if we get
dogs.
enough 5-star reviews
And if you
on
guys
this podcast,
and if you guys go to the YouTube and like it and subscribe,
yes,
if we get 50,000 likes on YouTube on the SmoshCast YouTube video about
we'll
this,
make Tinder for Hot Dogs.
Tinder
we'll
for
make
Hot
Tinder
Dogs.
for Hot Dogs.
Make my dreams come true, please.
Somebody do something for Shane for once.
I can't stress. I can't stress how much I want Tinder for Hot Dogs made, and this is the only way that it's going to get made, guys. You all have to come out in droves and support this podcast in every way possible on YouTube, on Spotify, on iTunes, in every way, and Tinder for Hot Dogs will come to fruition.
Make it happen.
Make it
happen, guys. Please.
So then eventually we did create the Tinder for Hot Dogs video. It was a video that we enjoyed making very much. It was very silly. Damien sings in it. It's pretty great. This next clip comes from episode 13 with myself, Shane, and Courtney. And this is when I started sort of the meme of me wanting to date Courtney's sister. I found that it makes Courtney extremely uncomfortable, so I decided to dig in further because I am an annoying person like that. Enjoy.
I'm a working woman and I don't need a
No
partner.
man.
I don't need no man. I mean, because
Or woman.
it's pretty cool. I was actually out with my sister last night and I was telling her about that. She took my hand and she was like, "I'm really proud of you." And it was,
Aw.
yeah, because it's not what it's all about, you know.
The sister that that you're gonna hook me up with on a date.
Wow.
We've been we've been
It's a
we've been bothering
joke.
Courtney.
It's a joke.
It's a joke,
Sure it is.
dude. let me tell it at
Okay,
least.
yeah,
Okay,
sure.
so we're all single, la di da. But Ian's been like, can I say slanging dong? No, but
not
you haven't.
slanging dong.
You're not.
No dong
You're
has
not
been
slanging
slang.
dong.
Ian has not slang a single dong.
How dare
guys?
How dare you appropriate my word and then use it
Falsely.
How dare you claim I
Sorry.
slang dong?
Well, he's been dating. He's been in the dating pool and going on dates.
I've been following leads, but I haven't really been.
Oh my god.
I haven't been
Is this how you pursue women?
successfully dating.
A suspect.
I guess. I'm like that's. I think that's
Aha.
I'd like to take you out to dinner for questioning.
I'd like some evidence that we might be compatible.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of how it's been.
Well, anyway, that's what he's been following leads of suspecting women, And we were having a conversation the other day of like, oh, who can we set him up with? La, la, la. And I made a joke that my older sister was she's newly single, but they would not work.
Why?
It's weird for me.
But it's not about you, Courtney. It's about my happiness and your sister's happiness.
That's right, Courtney.
Dude.
Oh my God, this is so awkward.
Look,
I don't know what to say.
Look, your sister and I are the same age, roughly. We both live near each other, so that's great for LA.
Dude.
Boy, you live close to each other? Well, I guess it's a match made in heaven.
That is a lead. We have a lead.
In LA, if you live close to somebody, that's half of the relationship.
Yeah. Oh man, I've definitely ended. I ended a thing once because it was just too far away.
Oh
You're
my
like,
God.
you're in Santa Monica.
We were. It was literally like we were a solid like 20 miles away, and like in any other state that'd be fine. But it got to a point where I was like, this is crushing me. Like my back hurts from driving so much.
You get to their house and you just fall asleep on their bed.
I'm exhausted every time we hang out. Like I can't do this. And also like it just wasn't there was more reasons obviously, but it wasn't.
But it's mostly the distance.
If she had lived closer, I'd have been like, I'll give this more of a shot.
I mean, the weird thing is 20 miles if you're coming from Los Angeles, that's a long distance relationship.
Yeah, it essentially is because it's over an hour to like get to each other. That's awful.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna have you date an older version of myself. Sorry, dude.
But she's not like I've met her before. She's not like you.
Yeah. No, we're very different. But I feel like she's. I don't know. You guys are not.
Whoa! Hold on. Does she have a Keurig?
Does she have a Keurig? Does she drink coffee?
I don't think she has a Keurig.
Oh no! But she's nothing.
That's
like
another
you, Courtney.
lead, Ian. That's another
nothing
lead.
like you.
What do you guys think at home?
What?
Should Courtney set it up?
No. I talked to Carrie about it, and she's like, no.
But is she just saying that for your sake, or
Yeah.
You know,
Did she say you?
No, she didn't say ew. Carrie, I'm so sorry.
Does she listen to this?
Maybe sometimes if I'm on it.
My family only listens if I'm not on it.
Does your dad listen to this podcast?
Mm-hmm. Or he watches it.
Do you think he would approve?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, before you even
know.
start dating, can you get your father's blessing for Ian?
Yeah, you know
now.
what? If you
get it out of the
wanna,
way.
sure, Ian, go for it. Shoot your shot.
Okay.
I dare you.
Mr.
No, in person. You don't do it.
I'm addressing him on the podcast.
Sorry, Dad.
Mr. Miller.
Say your condolences for the robbery.
My condolences for the robbery. May I have your daughter's hand in marriage?
Oh my God.
I just need to cut straight to the point. I'm done
That's
waiting.
smart.
I'm ready.
Smart.
I'm ready to commit.
Kicking it old school.
Oh my God.
Dang.
Could you imagine what
All I can think about right now is the wonderful Thanksgiving dinner we would all
that's what I was
have.
gonna say.
I'd come to your house and we'd all just have a lovely dinner together. We'd share stories, talk about the time your sister and I went to Cozumel.
Oh my God.
Had some pina coladas by the beach.
Guys.
Wow. Go on.
That's it. We only took one trip.
Oh yeah, this is early on.
Yeah, because
This is only what 7 months in.
Well, we're talking about this Thanksgiving.
Yeah, this thing.
So we're only a few months into.
Yeah,
the
only a few months in.
relationship.
So
Yeah.
one trip to Cozumel at that point
Yes.
is fair.
Yeah, it's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
What if
Paris next year.
Yeah, that's probably where I'll propose.
Yeah, you'd propose there.
Right at the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, you already got my dad's blessing, apparently.
Yeah. It's great. Wow. It's been awesome. Love this. This is really sweet.
I just don't know what to say. What if Carrie came on the podcast?
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Okay. This next clip kind gosh, this is going to get emotional. This is episode 14, where I bring my ex-girlfriend on the podcast. Mari is our mediator. I believe this clip is just us talking about our relationship and the failings and what led to us breaking up. So this one's pretty emotional.
You're committed to this relationship. You've been in this relationship for a year and a half. Mm-hmm. Things start to happen. How did that make you feel, Ian? Like, how does that take a toll on you? Because you're not expecting this. And in so many ways, when we start a relationship, it's like that is the last thing you think that you're signing up for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I think one of the signs for me that I felt like, this was like a real relationship where there was real feelings was the fact that, Pam told me that she had a risk of cancer and that she had a history of cancer before we even started legitimately dating. So that was sort of my out. That was like, here's the door. If you're not about this, like, Pam was like straight up. She's like, you might have to live with the fact that I might die at an early age. And it didn't really bother me. I mean, obviously, the thought of her dying. The thought of her dying greatly bothered me, but it didn't scare me away.
Right. You're like, I can take this on.
Yeah. It didn't. Yeah, that didn't. To me, that wasn't a reason to end things.
Yeah.
And at that time, Pam hadn't told anybody really about her history of cancer. You literally told your past boyfriend, mm-hmm. like whoever you were in a relationship with when you were going through that, but mm-hmm. you didn't tell your parents.
Didn't tell my parents.
You didn't tell anybody. Nobody on the internet knew. Like a couple friends knew, mm-hmm. and you told me. Mm-hmm. And that kind of openness, like, really created this sort of connection between us, I feel.
Well, and also, too, like you were talking about when I told you about that and you thought about, like, there's a chance that this could happen. There's this thing where you try to imagine scenarios, like you try to imagine your significant other dying, and like the way that it plays out in your head is never how it's going to play out in real life. So I feel that although you were like, I can handle this, when it actually started happening, there was something to it that was not necessarily missing, but it just hit you harder than you thought it would, because a good portion of the reason that I ended the relationship is because I couldn't deal with someone not being emotionally supportive for me while I was in the hospital. Like, I mean, I don't want to go into detail because, I still believe that you're a very good person, but, at the time it was just, I wasn't as important, and that's what it felt like.
Yeah, that was the thing. I think and we can either get to that now or we can get to that later, but I mean the sort of straw that broke the camel's back was I was set to go on a business trip, and I was only gonna be gone for 2-3 days. The night before I left, you started feeling abdominal pain, and we had been through this before, and I was always there at the hospital as much as I could be, and it was at this point it was almost routine, right?
Yeah.
And so it was like, okay, no problem. I'm gonna go on this trip, and whatever will happen. It's probably the same exact thing as it was before, and I'll be right back, and I'll be there for you. But you clearly had different needs for how you see a relationship being and how you see the person being there for you. And I wasn't there for you as much as you needed me to be in those situations.
Do you think that one of the reasons that you weren't there as much is because it bothered you? Like the pain and the suffering, like bothered you so much to the point that you couldn't tolerate being, or not tolerate, but you were uncomfortable being around when it was happening because it hurt so much? Or is it like one of those, I haven't really broken down exactly why you weren't there, like what do you, I mean, maybe you don't have something to explain that with, but just any insight would.
I think, like I said, it became almost like a routine. Like, we had been through it before. it didn't seem like it was anything new. So we kind of knew what the outcome would be if we figured it was another torsion, and it was, right? But what ended up happening is that was the final one, right?
Mm-hmm. No,
there's one more after.
there's one.
That's right. There's one more after. So, yeah, there was another torsion. I was out on my trip, and then I came back. I had to deal with some stuff at the office, and Ryan, who's our writer, who's sitting behind the camera, was there that day, and he's like, you good? Like, you like, Pam's in the hospital. You should probably go see her. I was like, yeah. I'm gonna get over there. Like, I just, I need to finish this, and then I'm gonna go. And the hospital is like, it was 2 miles away from the office. So
it sounds like you run to your defense mechanism, which is running to work, because that's the thing that makes sense for you. Mm-hmm. It's almost like it's like your safe place, and it's a way to run away from things, which I totally get. Mm-hmm. I think it's one of the reasons why my schedule is like packed to the brim, because it's like that's how I know that my life is like good. Like, yeah. It gives you some sort of security to know that it's there. And from the outside, that's what it sounds like, because having to have to deal with it is just so difficult.
And I think also, like, I'm very much an optimist, and I was always an optimist in our relationship. Whenever she was, worried about whatever pain you were feeling, Pam, I was always just like, we don't know. We don't know until the doctors tell us.
Yeah.
Like, and, you're like, be prepared for loss. I could get this, and I could be gone in a year or 6 months, or, one time you were diagnosed and they said you had a few months to live. Mm-hmm. So you're
not well. Oh, well, technically at the ER, kind of, but the one that kind of, it was way before our relationship.
It was way before our relationship. So your sort of outlook on everything is very different from mine. You've obviously...
I'd say I was a realist for my life,
right.
Not everybody's lives. Once you've had a life of just stuff, is what I'm going to call it, you become very aware that the good that you have is sometimes only fleeting, and that bad stuff is around the corner. So maybe sort of a pessimist, but I'm still a very positive person,
It's so interesting, because from the outside, it really is like you guys are like reading two different books, because I can totally see it. Like, from Pam's perspective, like, you've been through all this stuff, you know how hard it can be, and you see it from like a realist point of view, and so much emotion comes from that, when you're like, you just almost want to, like, you want it to be like romantic almost, where you're just like, this could be the last one, like I just want to feel all those things. And then I can totally understand your perspective of just like, no, like, maybe it's not that bad. Like, let's keep our head up and keep things positive. But to you, it feels like you're not being validated, where it's like you're going through all this stuff. Sorry, yeah. Pam doesn't feel validated in what she's going through, when Ian is being the best person he knows he could be by just being optimistic. And it's like, it's interesting, because we grew up with the saying, like, treat others the way you want to be treated. But I think as we grow older, we have to really understand that you have to treat the other person how they want to be treated. And it's like, you guys were speaking your own languages as opposed to speaking each other's languages.
That's very astute, Mari.
Damn, we're getting deep in here, you guys. Are you ready?
That's really good. Yeah, that was a thing. That was a good pod. I forgot like how good of a pod that was. We were like, damn, got real. This next one is episode 17. This is one that I did with Damien and Shane. We talked about how I screwed up the 2 Truths, 1 Lie video that we did with Pam, my ex. And enjoy. This week is a little bit of a rough one, because I had to give final approval of the 2 Truths, 1 Lie that I did with Pamela.
Right.
For those of you who don't know, Pamela being my ex-girlfriend. And I thought it'd be such a hilarious idea to do 2 Truths, 1 Lie with her. And that video will be out by the time this podcast comes out. So if you haven't watched it, watch it right after you listen to all this.
Can we speak freely about what happened?
Yes.
Cool.
I thought it'd be hilarious. And I was like, okay, one of the great lies that I'm going to drop on her at the very end is that I cheated on her. And then obviously that didn't happen, so that was going to be the lie. Mm-hmm. Then something happened. I was obviously like very nervous during that part, and I was very excited, and I had been waiting a long time to do this 2 Truths, 1 Lie, and this was the moment, and she was confusing me with her word jazz, and and whatever
it's called English.
Like she was like saying things. I've had to watch it back like 6 times to understand where it all went wrong. But basically, I for a moment forgot how the game was played, and then she guessed that the lie was that I cheated on her, which is correct. Yeah. And so she's supposed to spray me if she gets it right. I, for some reason, sprayed her, which then proceeded to what then happened next was probably one of the worst moments in my life, where I sprayed her. Then I realized, oh shit, she thinks I cheated on her. And this is the moment that I reveal it to her, spraying her in the face with water.
In public, on
camera. In front of people.
And you were kind of like laughing as you did it.
Gotcha.
And like the moment the water like hit her face, I realized, like looking at her reaction, I was like, wait, she thinks I cheated. Oh God. Oh no. And you guys, Damien and Shane, like you guys were in the peanut gallery, and I told you guys that I was going to drop that. Yeah. And so you guys knew, you guys were ready for it, and you're like, what are you doing? You're playing the game wrong.
Yeah.
What was going?
Well, I have some thoughts on it.
You kind of caught it. No, I was going to say you kind of caught what might have caused his confusion.
We rewatched it the other day to give like notes on it. And first of all, I will say like you didn't just come up with that idea out of the blue. Like Olivia had one of the best 2 Truths, 1 Lies of all time with her boyfriend Sam by dropping the bombshell of I'm pregnant, which was also the lie, but just that moment was great. So I think that inspired.
Yes, I was like, oh, I'm going to one up it.
Yeah, exactly.
And no matter what, and no matter what, we did know, like you did have to know, because it was the same with Olivia, by saying, oh, I cheated on you, we obviously know it's a lie, but there's still that moment of like, there's the 0.01% chance of like, is he really willing to do this? Like, whatever. And so you could see that kind of with her.
Are you that crazy of a man?
Because Pam goes like, oh, well, I definitely know you wouldn't reveal it like this.
So that's the thing. Yeah. So when we watched it again, we caught where the mix-up happened. So it's 2 Truths, 1 Lie, right? So she's dissecting it after you say everything. It's, I prefer whatever type of peanut butter, I done on my mom's birthday, and I cheated on you. Yeah. So she says, well, I know you didn't cheat on me. That's for sure. And then she continues on. Yeah. So if she really knew that she also playing the game correctly should have said like, that is for sure the lie. But she says, I know you didn't cheat on me. So that one. And so she keeps going. And so you're thinking, all right, she's correct about that. True. So then next. Yeah. And so the idea of true got switched up for both of y'all there. She's like, well, I know you didn't cheat on me, so let me go to the other ones. And then she kept dissecting them. And then that's when you were like, well, wait, so you're trying to find a lie. And she's like, oh, that's right. Well, I know you didn't cheat on me. So because that first switch happened for you in your mind when she revealed like, okay, lie, you didn't cheat on me. And it's like, no, the lie is that I cheated on you, not that I didn't cheat on you. So it got reversed for both of you guys. It was just more visceral for her.
It's also the most simple game in the universe, and this is the second time that I've messed it up, because I messed it up the last time I played it, I think. And so like I sprayed her in the face, and then obviously she got very upset, which I completely understand. And then we had to cut the cameras for a moment, and allow everyone to like settle down a little bit. And I'm like, that was a complete mess up. I didn't cheat on you, and this is not the reveal that I did on camera. And it was the worst feeling ever. And I everyone was very thoughtful afterwards, and everyone wanted to make sure we were okay. And and they were like, "Are you all right?" And I'm like, Well, it turns out I really don't like hurting the people I care about.
Yeah. I felt bad for you too. I felt bad for both of you, but I ran into you in the bathroom. I ran into you in the bathroom afterwards. I was like, hey man, are you doing okay? And you're like, well, I'm worried about Pam. And I was like, yes. And I know that as well. We all are, but obviously you didn't mean to do that. I'm worried about you too. And then Pam comes out of one of the restroom stalls and just says, am I in the wrong bathroom?
Oh yeah.
Just like, hi Pam. What the f-? It was the weirdest moment.
I definitely felt bad for her. We cut a lot because, she knew pretty quickly. Like, we cleared it up very quickly, but still that just reaction of like, oh my God. Because, what we cut was her getting sprayed with a super soaker and then be like, you cheated on me? And and we were all just like, oh no. And you were just like, I could tell in that moment I felt bad because you looked at her like, what? Obviously no. Like, hold on, what's going on? Yeah. And then it slowly hit. And I mean, everyone in that room. The problem is everyone in the room, I think except you and Pam, knew it was going wrong because we were looking at each other, Damien and Courtney and I was looking at the cameramen and everyone in the room, and everyone was like eyes wide open, mouth agape, being like, what are you doing? And then after it all went down, my favorite quote from the day was Brennan, our cameraman, just looking at you and just went, Ian, that was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. But I felt horrible because then later I saw you in our cast room and you were just kind of standing there and I was like, hey, how are you doing? Like, it must have been, I'm sorry. And you were just like, I've never hurt her that way. Yeah. And I was like,
Ian.
Yeah. Like, and to hurt someone on that level when you didn't do anything wrong. Yeah. Like, you accidentally pulled a horrible prank is what happened. Yeah. And you would never obviously do that to her. Pam
Hell
is
no.
the sweetest human, so it's hard to see that. Yeah. So I felt for both of you, and I think we all do. Yeah. So
it's really funny. So when we broke up, I was having like little sort of like anxiety attacks, and I kind of told her about it, and she was like, okay, well, I have like this kind of like medication that, if you're having an anxiety attack, you could take it and it kind of kills it immediately. And she kind of like gave me like a small amount, like not like a full dose. She's like, if you ever feel it, take one of these. So I kept it in my backpack. I actually never ended up using it. I got better. I still had it in my backpack. And so like after the shoot, like I walked into the room and she was there and I was like, are you feeling okay? And she's like, no. I was like, are you, I have that medication you gave me. Do you want it? She's like, yeah. That's so like it strangely like came full circle.
Yeah, full circle.
She seemed fine pretty quickly. Like she really pulled it together very well. But
it just shakes you a little bit.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, it's the context. It's getting told you were cheated on is one thing if it's told in a specific way, but getting sprayed in the face with a super soaker in front of a bunch of people is bonkers.
Having said that, I respect the hell out of you for putting out the video and acknowledging it and like talking about it now, because I feel like I would have been like, no, please, like there's no way we can cut it to make this fine, like please. But you were like, no, we it happened.
Pretty immediately, because I talked to you and Pam after. I was like, you guys, you don't have to put it out there. You can cut whatever. And both of you were like, nah, we did it.
It happened.
Let's do it.
What a story. And before we get to the next clip, let's take a quick break. Hey, it's Ian, the host of the SmoshCast. If you've ever wanted to start your own podcast, you might think you need all kinds of equipment to set it up. And guess what, baby? That's wrong. All you need is Anchor. Anchor is an all-in-one free tool from Spotify that lets you create your own podcast and get it heard anywhere. With Anchor, you could record, edit, be heard on all listening platforms, and they'll even pair you with sponsors to help you get paid for your show. It all works in your web browser or right from Anchor's mobile app, and best of all, it's totally free. Make your own podcast with Anchor today by going to anchor.fm/Smosh. That's anchor.fm/Smosh. So this next clip is from the same episode 17. Shane, Damien, and myself talk about insecurities. Yeah, because we got feelings. Enjoy. Do you guys struggle with any sort of like insecurities?
Well,
for sure.
A reason I think therapy is great is because I'm not an expert in psychology, but from the classes I've taken, like the big takeaway is that we know far less about ourselves than we think we do. So you might think you know what your insecurities exactly are, and you probably know a lot of them, or you think you know what your issues are, but there's probably a lot that you're just simply unaware of, that through a therapist asking you the right questions and just conversing with them will be brought to the forefront, and then you'll be like, oh my gosh, I wasn't aware of some of these things, that then it helps so much.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody has a lot of insecurities too. I mean, I have not been feeling good about my physical appearance lately, probably for the past like year and a half. Like if you watch older Smosh videos, I was like much thinner then, and also had a lot of stomach problems, which is, partially why that is. But, my parents were always very physical. They met because my dad owned a gym and my mom taught aerobics there. And so like that was always a way to like...
I bet they have great photos from like the 80s.
None. Literally none.
What?
I asked my mom for 80s photos for a potential video and they're literally none.
Bullshit.
But like that was a good way to get like attaboys from the parents and like, you've been exercising, like that's great. And now that's not a part of my life so much because I'm just so busy doing either voiceover, Twitch streaming, or being here that I just do not have time to exercise right now, and I've let myself go by the wayside a bit. But I'm trying to figure out how to still feel good about myself, even if it's not in a physical way. And I've never been comfortable in my body. I was a chubby kid.
But yeah, I would say you're insanely hard on yourself in that regard, because I don't think anyone would, definitely people watching, I don't think would ever claim you to be out of shape. But no. I notice all the time you talking like, oh yeah, I don't know about this shirt. It makes me like this or whatever. Or like we'll take a group photo and you'll be like, I don't know. I don't like how I look in that or whatever. Yeah. Or like you pointed out in videos and edits, you're like, I look like this. And I'm like, I would have never noticed it. Well, you're holding such a lens to yourself. And you're being so hard on yourself.
Yeah, oftentimes we're our own biggest critics.
Thank God, because if anyone else was worse on me, I'd be like, that dude's just an asshole.
Well, we wouldn't keep them around. Yeah. Like honestly, like we're like I think one of the greatest things about the people that we've sort of kept around ourselves and surrounded ourselves with here is like everyone is super supportive of each other, and we all want the best for each other. I would hope that if any of us are struggling with anything, that we would all be here for each other.
Sure.
Absolutely.
No, I love these. There's no real reason for it. I love the people around me. Nobody's been like mean about anything on the internet, which is shocking, but like it just comes from within, and I know it's something I've got to work on mentally as well as physically.
Yeah. I feel like I'm mean to you when you're talking shit about yourself, and I'm like, you shut up right now.
Yeah, you do that. I like it though.
I feel like I'm like, oh, maybe I'm being too mean, but I'm like, shut the hell up, Damien.
Well, and I don't think those insecurities would leave you if you got into the best shape of your life. You would still, those insecurities are still there, and you're still gonna be like, oh, I don't know about this today, or I don't know, whatever. Like if you're insecure about your body, you're gonna be insecure about your body, and you can't. The only way to beat that is to mentally counteract that, or to find ways around it.
I mean, you're somebody, you exercise all the flipping time. And when I see you, I think you're like the most shredded person I've ever met. But if you're talking about those insecurities not leaving you, do you feel like you still deal with that stuff?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah. And I mean, I'd say part of the reason I work out so incessantly is because like if I go 2 days without working out, I'll be like, oh God, I feel like goo today. I hate it. And it changes, right? Like, cause it'll be, for the longest time it was that I was like, oh, I'm too skinny. I'm like, whatever. You knew up until like, I want to say the age of 23 or 24, I wore jackets year round. Like even when it was like
I can think of that black jean jacket. It's what I met you when you were wearing it. Yeah.
It was like that Robert Pattinson-y type black one, and then I switched to the green leather one, which I would still wear when I started here. And I would wear them if it was 90 degrees outside. I'd still be wearing that jacket, and it was just because I was just like, oh I don't like how my arms look today.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Like whatever. Really? Yeah. So yeah, no, and then like pool parties and stuff, I'd be like, oh. Like
no way, because I feel like that, and if you feel like that, there's no hope for me.
It's just I don't know, and then it changes, man. Like, because I definitely, I can't self-diagnose, but with like body dysmorphia and stuff, I still don't think like I'm that big. Like I don't think I'm that buff or anything. Like I think
Damn.
of my body as being rather average size. But what'll happen is sometimes even if I do get bigger, then I'll just be like, oh, but it's shaped, my body's shaped weird, or it just looks weird, or it just doesn't look good. I just don't look like I'm in great shape. I just, whatever. It changes all the damn time, and it's really tough to keep up with. And I really am I'm a prisoner to it sometimes, because there'll be days where, like, if I haven't worked out for a couple days, and then say it's, I haven't worked out for the past 2 days, but today everyone's going to Disneyland. But if I go, I'm not going to be able to make it to the gym. And I'll be like, should I go?
Interesting.
Should I go, or should I go to the gym?
See, I had no idea. I had no idea that, you struggled with this, because I mean, we make jokes all the time, and I don't know if it's hurtful now that I'm thinking about it. We make jokes all the time about how swole you are.
Yeah.
Like
I think I have gotten much better about everything through Smosh, just because, not necessarily through praise doesn't really help any of it. In fact, sometimes I think it makes it worse. A lot of the most insecure people I know physically are the models and the best looking people I've met, because growing up they were constantly told, you're so pretty, you're so attractive. So it's like, oh, that's my entire worth. So if I lose that, even for a moment, I'm nothing.
Got it.
And probably the same why people who are praised for being super smart then get super insecure if their intelligence gets questioned.
But that's the thing about you too that's interesting to me, is you're an incredibly well-rounded person. So you exercise constantly, you're doing fine in that department, but also you have a lot of intelligence to back it up. Your house, which we saw in the house tour, is stacked with books that you've read, not even counting the books that you gave away because you're just not going to read them again. You're always trying to discover more things about music. You were teaching yourself guitar. Right now you're learning Spanish. There's so much that even if your physical stuff went away, even if all your books burned and you couldn't read anymore, you would have so much to fall back on. So it's interesting to hear, and I know nothing I say can fix anything, but it's just interesting knowing that a lot of people have one thing to build self-worth off of. You've got a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's tough. I mean, but we could all say that for ourselves, right? I don't know. I feel like a lot could be, the exact same could be said to you, could be said to all of us that work here, and for so many people who are insecure. And I think there's an aspect of insecurity fueling that motivation, but I don't think it's a good fuel. I think a better fuel is just enjoying life and doing things because it's fun, and improving yourself because improving yourself is fun.
Yeah.
For the sake of it, not for, I need to improve myself to become something that's worthwhile.
Sure.
Did those insecurities become worse after your last breakup, or?
I actually think they've gotten better, I think. And it changes, as you get older, just in life, insecurities just switch around. I think when I'm insecure, I am insecure about anything. I will find the thing to be insecure about, I'll be like, oh, I'm short, or oh, I'm this, or oh, I'm not whatever, and it'll be physical, or then it'll be just who I am or something like that. I mean, sure. And I think that goes for everybody. I think insecurity is insecurity. It takes many forms.
I think there is a good, humble way to look at that and be like, everybody can say that we all have these different talents and different things to fall back on. But I found that you are somebody, and just speaking as a friend here, I found that you are somebody that will do that all the time, to the point where it's not even a sense of necessarily being humble, but you're taking victories away from yourself. Everybody has different things that they can consider, a source of pride for themselves, or I should hope so. And if you don't feel that way, you should definitely do some soul searching and find it, because it is out there. But with how many different areas of expertise you have, Shane, I think it's okay to every once in a while say it just for yourself, and it's not even an arrogant thing. It's you know what? Not everybody is able to do all these different things. Sure. Good for me. Because it's not like I was born being the best runner, smartest boy in comedy. You work flipping hard in a lot of areas. So I would just encourage you to, acknowledge that for yourself. Everybody has the insecurities. Everybody can fall back on stuff. But you work hard to have a lot of things you're good at. Good for Shane.
Well, thanks, man.
You got it.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. It's like I said, the even self-praise, it's not, don't know.
I feel that.
It's not like that's like, oh, great, I am this thing. I am who I need to be happy, right? I just think the pursuit of all those things for the sake of finding happiness will never achieve it. I think when I'm able to let go of those insecurities is when I think honestly what it is in its own form selfishness, right? I'm doing all these things to improve myself, whatever I'm thinking, but it's just that I'm thinking about myself. I'm so focused in on improving myself and becoming something that I need to be that I'm not looking outward. And so when I let go of that and I go, you know what, I'm going to focus on my friends, my family, the people around me and what makes them amazing. Suddenly then you just lose yourself. And it is kind of this euphoria, this breaking free of that prison that you get into yourself when you're just locked into your own head about what's wrong with you and what everybody's thinking about you, instead going, no, I'm going to focus on what's great about everyone around me, what I love about them. And then you feel that connection to everyone. You go, and then you suddenly feel loved. Because you're looking for that when you're trapped inside yourself, but you can't feel that love because you're just inside yourself. You're sealed away. You get out, you go, okay, I'm with everyone. Oh my God, I'm loved and I love them and great. And now I feel great.
So this next clip is from episode 25 with Courtney, Noah, and Keith. And Courtney and Keith hash out some real drama, and it's all about a desk. Enjoy.
I used to rearrange my apartment or room like regularly.
I know you rearranged the desk that one time. We can always go back.
Do we want to go there?
I always want to go back to the desk.
Listen,
I'm still dealing with that.
Really?
Okay, low key on the real I am. Can I tell? Let me.
I'm down.
Look, this is the thing. Okay, let's talk about it.
But we have to take turns.
Yeah, we're gonna take turns.
Okay.
So this is my thing. For me, this is.
I love this.
It's so
Wait,
old.
do we need backstory?
Yeah.
Can I give quick?
You could tell you were kind of the middleman.
Yeah, you are the middleman.
I witnessed it. So essentially, it's a Friday. I believe Courtney started working with us on a Monday, whatever. Everyone's meeting, whatever. We're in an office. It's white walls. We don't really talk to anyone. We're stuck in a room for 8 hours a day with each other. That's really it. We all have our own computer and a weird desk in each corner.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
That's the
I
setup.
like my corners.
Yeah.
And then I think Courtney asked, she was like, could we do something with the room?
But I thought you were telling the whole story.
Oh, I'll tell the whole story. I'm so sorry. Okay, so then there was a group talk. I believe it was our producer at the time, Sonny, and Joe Beretta. I believe we all got together on that Friday, all the cast too, and they were like, hey, do you want to possibly rearrange the room? I know everyone's got individual desks, but maybe we do some sort of group desks situation or something like that. I believe we went around to ask people's opinions. I believe it was 2 in the yes, 3 in the no, or 2 in the yes, 2 in the no. Shane wasn't around at the time. With Olivia and Keith saying, no, we don't want our stuff moved. No on the movement.
No.
Courtney saying, I would really, really love it, and me saying, oh, I do like that idea. I think it would be a lot more collaborative for all of us to have desks together.
Did you say that?
Yes, he did.
Yes, I did.
Yes.
I said, yes, whatever, but you know what? After our conversation, I believe we landed on we weren't going to move them yet, but the idea was, accepted. 50-50 at that point. That was Friday. Monday, we all come back.
I walk in walk in the office, and my desk was gone.
No, it wasn't gone. It was moved over by the corner.
You pushed 2 desks together. Each desk had a separate desk, as if the back of the computers would face each other. So it's like one long
Was it
desk.
like that?
Yeah.
And 2 people are on the opposite ends. Yes. You and me were together, and then they were together.
So look, I came
You're
in.
still hurting from
Yes,
this,
I'm
man.
like, this is the thing. I have
feel
trust issues.
I
really
should be hurting.
I'm telling you, that's what I'm trying to tell you, because it's like a straight up, when you tell somebody, no, I don't want something some way, and I come in, and the first thing she says to me, and I didn't even when you said this to me, I kind of like my insides just bursted.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, yeah, I moved the desk. Do you like it? I'm thinking
I came in hot. I literally came in hot in every way.
That was so unbelievable.
When
to me.
she
I'm
asked
like,
me-
I just met this girl and she's moving my desks, and then she asked me if I like it when I just told her on Friday. Would she like? I was like, oh my god, she's nuts. She's nuts. I'm thinking what did I do wrong to deserve this? That was in my head. It was the ultimate.
Jeez, dude.
Oh, you got to understand. When I go through it, I'm going through it.
Yeah,
it's
that
up
doesn't
there.
sound fun.
No, it's not. It wasn't fun too. For me to say yo, please don't. You can move anybody else's, and to be told straight up eye contact, and then to be pulled back, and then the same person be like, hey, do you like it? It's like, oh my God. I'm like, yo, does she want problems? I was like,
No qualms.
No qualms.
Yeah, I honestly didn't know. I was like, yo, she's trying to pick on me. Like, I really felt like you were picking on me.
Oh my God,
Like, I had to deal with it for a long time.
Yeah,
we went
you
through our
Yeah.
and I had to really deal with it, even to the point now where I think about it sometimes and it's like fun. But I was like, dang, like this really took me to a place of just not trusting and not like. And we had to build that love and trust, and we do have it. Like by all means, like we love each other. Like Courtney, I'll text her every now and again just to be like, you know, I love you, or she'll send pictures or whatever. But like it was definitely for me, like out of like all of us, it was just like, damn, like who can I trust in this? Like I'm to a whole different like situation. Like how am I supposed to trust someone when we have like an understanding, and the understanding is just like, whoop, like what up, you like this, I did it for you. Like no, that was not for me. That was like all you.
Courtney, real quick before we get to your side, I just want to say two things. Keith, for me experiencing that, number one, I did like the desks a lot more.
You did say 10 out of 10.
I did enjoy the rearrangement.
You liked them.
Yeah, I loved it, and it was much more effective. She did do a great job rearranging it. Our desks were by the windows. Each person had a window to share. It was done.
But Keith lost his special like spot where he had his zone.
I told you guys I like my corner. Yeah. And as much as we're a group, we are individuals that come from different places, struggle with different thought processes and everything. And for me, it was just like, boom, what up?
It was really funny to see a fight happen over a desk.
Then the fight.
Yeah, I love you, Keith. I love you.
I know you do. I trust you.
We've been through a lot, and like I'm gonna say my honest opinion about that whole situation, because like, dude, I was a control freak when I came in. I was ready to make myself a part of everything and like be a part of everything, whether you guys were ready for or not. I wanted to be your best friends, and I didn't realize that some people don't like that right away. I totally came in too hot. When that happened, like, and it maybe you said directly no. I don't remember. I thought it was like, I don't know, like I'm not sure.
It was a no.
That's what I remember, but it could have been that. I still was wrong for taking your guys' space and moving it, because that was not my job. Your reaction was so shocking, and like I feel terrible that it affected you for that long. Like it affected me terribly because it affected you so much, and I was like, holy shit, I made this person feel so much anger, and I know you didn't let it go for months, and like I didn't earn your trust for months.
Yeah, it was like a trust thing for me, especially with it being like you being a new person. It was like, damn, like if this is how this is gonna go, like I don't know if I can like really be cool. You know? Because we're so different.
We totally are, and like you literally did not know me at all, and like I came at it with like like this is something exciting and new, and like me rearranging is like a fun like cleanse that happens in a room. It's like my equivalent of like saging a place or whatever, but like it was just a desk, dude.
No, but the desk, but the it was the no that like really made me upset.
The fact that I defied you.
Yeah, so it was like we had this conversation. It was like it was just a desk, and that's how simple it was. If you just move a desk when I tell you like don't move mine, I said you can move everybody else's, and then we get to the point where you just like come in and then you ask me if I like. I'm like, yo, she's playing games, and I'm like, and I know how to play. I know how people play games. I know how I play games sometimes. Everybody plays games, so in my head it just was like, game, we play Monopoly in this hoe. Like what the
That's
like I didn't know.
Keith.
Like it's
I have never experienced anything
Keith,
like
I
Keith.
don't believe everyone's trying to play games because like that's
a personal thing too for me. That is a personal thing, but like if that no and that like even that we're talking about it today, like it's still kind of like
I mean
but those are the foundations of like
the foundations of relationships.
Yeah, like the legitimate love that's here.
It was beginning stuff, but like that sucks when it's like we're still learning each other and like that experience was really hard for me too, and like I wronged you. I invaded your space. It was incorrect that I did that. I just couldn't believe like how long and like how harshly you treated me. Like and again, like we've been through whatever. I fucking love you both. Like
it was definitely
like I tried to apologize and then like you just didn't take it well and like I started crying and then like you felt bad and hugged me.
There
and,
was
like,
a separation for sure. And the separation is just like how for you say it was just a desk. It was like for me it was just a no, you know, just to say
it's
that.
It's a two-way street.
And that I feel like because of that whole like like, oh, you're feeling this way, I'm feeling this way. It was just like we had our own feelings. It was hard for me with it being so new to understand somebody to like, you know.
Yeah, you don't know my intentions.
Yeah, so I'm like, in my head, I thought your intentions were so like just against me. And I like, this is something I have to work on, like with people in general. I don't let people in. I really don't. I struggle with it. Like all my friends that know me personally, like on a deep level, they're like, yo, Keith is not cool right now. Like, what do you need? Like, you know, like I just have people that support me in that way, and like I do take friendship very, very seriously, and it was just like, damn, like like now I gotta work with somebody who's just like so like I guess inconsiderate for me, you know.
Like, no, it was like, and it came across to you as inconsiderate and all this shit. It's like, and it's real, like that's what you felt, and like that's how it came across. I am like, oh, this is great, like I'm gonna do this thing for these guys, and like maybe they'll like what I do. Like you like it? I drew fan art of you guys. I'm such a dork.
No, you're
and
really
like,
a sweet person. Like I
that's not a problem.
Outwardly, both of you communicate similarly.
I weirdly, like those first few months, like we did not vibe well, and like it was really hard for me because it's like for me the way I view friends. At least back then, 100%. Like at least back then, it was like, oh, friends, the more the merrier. I'm not gonna check you psychologically. I'm gonna let you in, and you're gonna learn everything about me, and I'm gonna trust you with my life. And like for that, I've made some serious mistakes.
We are the complete opposites.
Yeah,
is what it was. It's what is it? Fire and ice, or fire and water?
Dude, all I'm saying
we're complete opposites, because like you said, I'm gonna allow people to come in and blah blah blah, all that. I'm like, yo, like I'm not like, and I'm just like,
that's
nothing. Yeah, you know what I mean. And like honestly, I feel like out of anybody in the group, I feel like we've actually clashed the most.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's just been like but it's never like, we can always look back in hindsight. In the moment, it like hurts, you know, for like everybody involved, and that doesn't make anybody feel comfortable in the group. But
on the outside looking in, what's it like?
How do you see it? Like,
honestly, both of you communicate very similarly, which is not how I communicate, or I don't think I'm as good at it. Which is, both of you are like very emotional people, in no negative, but in the way where like you guys very much are in tune with how people are feeling, how like you feel, and like how those things kind of connect in communication. I don't know if I'm doing a good job describing what I'm trying to, but both of you are like,
I love you.
Give people hugs. Both of you very often will like affirm love or kindness for each other people around you. Both of you will make sure someone feels comfortable if like you notice that they don't. And just to touch on the early days, like really it's like you coming in being new, like us being stuck there in like a room for like 6 months, meeting you randomly, and like you coming in with the exact same energy we had 6 months prior, and it's definitely like we did not let you in as much as we could have.
The energy right out of you. Like,
no, the opposite. You gave us energy, and that was like we didn't know why you were coming in with energy, because you had yet to realize what the first year was like, which was like, hey, we're not announced yet, like we're just kind of secretly doing this and that.
Like hiding.
So it kind of we pretty much spent months just in the same room together. There wasn't much space. There wasn't much to do. So it makes sense that
we were in a boring white office room, like kids that have never really had real jobs.
It looks like your teacher's desk.
I think Courtney was the only one that had like a real job, because you worked at a pharmacy. But like for
you
the
did
rest
the taco stand.
That wasn't like a job, like a grown up job though. That's like some kid, like let's go like make some. I had a few little restaurant situations, but like we were just in this white room. Like I don't even know that they knew what they wanted to do with us, or how like what the situation, what we actually were. Like guys, you got to realize we are 5 different types of people. So different. Like just the way, like I mean, beyond the way we look, you know, and everything all together, like the way that we all came together, y'all, it's like something that like people don't have and will never have.
It's
and I'm
like 5 pieces from different puzzles somehow fit.
It fit. And like that's the thing, beyond it fitting, like the way that it fits now, we had to find how to fit it, how the puzzle works. Like it was like, I look back at like how I handled a lot of things in the beginning, just like with like even this situation, I'm like, dang, I could have like softened up a little bit, or
I could have listened.
You know, I could have, you know, like it's
relaxed.
We could have did all that, but like the way that this, like at the end of the day, we're not at the office as much as we used to be. But like I'm telling you, the love that I have for you, Courtney, the love that I have for Shane, like Ian, like it's real. It's real shit for me. Like I had to grow to love. I feel like we all had to grow to love different people. You know what I mean? Like it's so cool. It's so cool. People will never get this opportunity.
No.
Ever.
And after experiencing the being in that room with you guys, so much. I wouldn't want to do that with the person I love most. I would not want to be in the same room stuck with that person all the time, no matter how much I love them, because that's too much. You need
With that being
space.
said, I would not trade those experiences for anything.
I'm so glad we had
it's
them, but I wouldn't.
What built us.
Like, I wouldn't like, oh, you have the opportunity to work 10 hours a day with your favorite sibling, and you like, do you want to do it? I'm like, no. I just want to do what I've got and enjoy them when I have them, like what we have now. But like, yeah, I think we all grew so much, not just together as a group, but like independently, because we were learning how to coexist with people wouldn't normally.
Yes.
Keith, you and I specifically, I feel like we have very big personalities, and like we're very passionate, and like we feel very hard.
Yeah.
And so that's why like the clash is like we feel that clash.
Yeah, like harder than what we should. Like honestly, harder than what we should. Like I feel like in the moment we can validate it all day. Like you know what I mean? But like hindsight, we some crybabies.
We some crybabies.
We some
I'm
crybabies.
baby.
That's BB. That's BB right
BB.
there. That's my BB.
So this next episode is the So Random SmoshCast episode featuring Damien Shane, Allison Ashley Arm, and Matthew Scott Montgomery. And they talk about a sketch that was done on So Random that was so bad that it never aired. Enjoy.
So, my favorite story, one of my top 5 favorite stories of all time, is we did a sketch that never made it to air.
Thank God.
Called Teeny in a Bottle. And I forget, I know it was Matthew Scott and myself.
Were we
you were the dad.
I was the dad.
I was the son.
Tiffany was my wife or baby mama. Audrey was
my sister. So we were the children. So the sketch was like a 60s sitcom, like a 60s sitcom
I think
family.
it was like cleaning out the basement. I was like, hey kids, I found this lamp in the basement. Wanna rub it? Or like,
and then out of this genie lamp that we find comes a teenage genie who doesn't grant any wishes because she's sassy and doesn't want to like.
It can't
she's
be bothered.
a teenager.
Yeah. She's like an angry, sassy teen.
There was a lot of issues with the girl who played
She played Teeny.
Who played Teeny. She had to be painted, and they painted her green, but that wasn't working. So the producers were so focused on her and how she was doing the character that Matthew Scott and I were just like, let's give the worst performances of our lives.
We were running behind on time.
Yeah.
The actress name was Coco Jones. She was having a really hard time with the material.
She was also like a toddler.
She also
looked like an adult, but she was like 11, 12.
You know, the notes they're getting from the network or whatever, that was like everything she was doing was like too negative or like would be a bad influence on kids, but that was kind of how it was written.
Yeah.
So on the fly, they're trying to rewrite it to make it more positive, but it's not working. She's half in green makeup. What was the line about being adopted?
I don't even know.
Like, there was some line where it's like, what do you want to wish for? And like, Audrey's like, I wish I weren't adopted. And like, do you remember that?
Dark.
And we like were improving, and they're like, okay, and moving on. We're like, what?
Dude, no. So we start this, and Matthew Scott and I had talked, but we're like, let's go insane with this.
Yes.
So I'm in the scene, and I'm thinking, I'm going to go nuts. And all of a sudden, Matthew Scott just goes, genie!
Yes, literally.
Do you remember the face though? I was watching this on the like closed circuit TV in the dressing room, and I think you said you turned to Matthew Scott at one point. And he just went like,
they're just gritted teeth, eyes looking like they're gonna pop out of his face. You looked both angry and happy at the same time.
We were running way behind, and the last shot we had to get was like the opening credit shot where it's like, and that's Teeny or whatever it was. And it was a shot of me and my family shoved around each other and like Coco popping up between us. And we only had time for one take. And so instead of me saying the line, that's Teeny, I literally would go, like literally like that. Made the most...
There was moments where you just were screaming in it, where it was just like she's like, I'm not gonna grant that wish.
And no one corrected me. And then they were like, okay, checking the gate, time to go to lunch. And I was like, that's gonna be dumb.
I was laughing
No,
through
it's
most.
not.
I was laughing through most of the takes. Yes. I didn't have a line delivered where I wasn't like, oh, what a genie.
And we only shot our stuff once because they didn't have time, so we knew they were going to have to use those takes.
You had a part where you folded your arms, but you didn't touch. Your arms did not touch. You just like weirdly folded them. Oh my God. It was absolutely insane. And they said nothing.
They never even looked at me.
Damien was watching it on the monitor, and I come back, I'm like, did you watch it? He's like,
no. Do you remember what happened? Everyone's watching on the monitors in the dressing room, and they were so disturbed by what we were doing that they came out to set, like, is everything okay? Like, what's happening? But they were so concerned with Coco that they never looked at us.
It was the most, it is the hardest I've ever laughed.
There's this guy Skip who was editing, and I went to him in the editor's bay a couple weeks later. I was like, can I please watch Teeny in a Bottle? He's like, oh no, we scrapped all of that. Oh. He was like, we couldn't use any of that. I was like, oh my God.
Is it just deleted? It's not even.
I would give anything to watch all that stuff now.
Oh man, there were so many funny moments.
Oh man.
Oh man, what a bad sketch, right guys? There's no one else here in this room. Well, this next clip comes from episode 33, and it's myself, Noah, and Keith. And Keith opens up, out of nowhere, about how he hasn't been feeling so good, and the steps that he's taking to be happier and healthier. So Keith, you've made some changes in your life?
Oh, yeah, I have, actually. Not as much as people think. I've been trying to get a lot more healthy. I've been trying to go on hikes because, I do have a lot more free time. Yeah. And I see that I am starting to gain weight. I'm 27 years old now. Don't tell nobody but God, but I'm 27 years old, and weight is sticking to me like never before.
27 is the turning point. That's the final dying gasp of our metabolism.
So let me just say this. So I weighed myself. I didn't even know, one of my roommates has a scale in the bathroom, and I never weigh myself. I weigh myself, but not that often. Mm-hmm. And I happened to look over, and I was like, okay, let me just weigh myself. Let me see where I'm at, because my weight fluctuates. You know what I'm saying? It just say up and down, up and down. So I ended up weighing myself, and I was 140 or 141. I can't remember. My memory's not that good anymore. And by the next week or the week after that, I want to say I was 145, and I had started hiking. I had started doing, a couple push-ups, just a few, 10, 20 here, 30 if I'm feeling real nice.
Nice.
But I've been doing that, but to gain weight, I know it's not muscle. I know it's not muscle. So I also have to eat healthier, and I honestly have to just monitor what I eat, what I do, what I drink. I can't drink beers as much. Y'all know I love a free beer at Kitchen 24. I shouldn't have said that. You guys are gonna find me there. I'm going after this. Good Lord, but dead ass, y'all. I looked at the scale the next 2 weeks or so, and I weighed 145, and that scared me, because I was like, yo, I'm actually trying to take precaution and just wait this shit out.
Yeah. Dang. Drinking's a big one, man. Mm-hmm. That'll catch up. For
also
sure.
Getting the right
it caught me. It caught. I'm starting to get on my sides right here, yo. I'm starting.
Oh, you got the love handles?
Beyond side. My mom calls them side items. I got side items, but they also got some dents in them, and I'm like, well, damn, I ain't never had no dents. Potholes everywhere. They some little cute ones. This kind of like a Beanie Baby. You know how when you touch it, it's just the little thingies in there. That's how my side items are. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got something to hold on to. Mm-hmm. But I've definitely been working out. I'm going hiking after this. Is why I'm dressed like this. I'm very, comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, get you a shirt.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Look,
Slush
this
Cult.
Shirt. This is.
You gotta get the Slush Cult merch before it's all gone. The collab, it's good.
It's really good.
This shirt's actually incredibly
comfy.
This material is super nice. Mm-hmm. I don't know about
this.
That
This is the last limited edition, which is super dope. But the hat is awesome. Mm-hmm. It's a straight up custom. Stitch. What is this called? The 5-panel? Except I don't know how many.
It's a camp hat.
I like how this turned into a commercial, and it's not about me anymore.
Sorry,
it's okay. Get your stuff though. Get your merch.
Smosh.store.
Yep.
Back to you, Keith.
But definitely, just trying to watch myself. And the funny thing is, people think that I'm better. Ryan was talking to Olivia recently, and he was like, yo, how's Keith? And he's asking her questions, and she's like, yo, he's healthier, he seems happier. And guys, I am fighting so hard for my happiness. You know what I mean? When he brought it up earlier, because, you know, we do talk about a little bit about, like, what we're going to talk about before we get here, you know, just to, like, have a understanding of where things could go. And I started thinking when he asked me, I was like, yo, like, I think I might be more depressed than I've ever been. And I beat myself up when I'm alone and everything. And I'm fighting. And I feel like, even saying it, I'm kind of getting emotional, like, just honestly, like, fighting for my life. You know what I mean?
Really?
And it's, yes. And I find myself, you know, like, I go to church and everything, and I'm just trying to find something. Like, I mean, like, I'm not here all the time. You know what I mean? We don't come in Monday through Friday. I have a lot more time. I'm auditioning and stuff now more so. And, you know, like, ideas, like, what makes me happy?
Yeah.
Like, what do I enjoy? Like, what's my identity? Like, who am I? Like, I'm really going through it, y'all. Like, when you have, like, so many people watching you, you start to watch yourself more. And to the point where you judge yourself way more than what you ever, like, would have if you only had a couple people, you know, eyes on you. But I honestly realize I'm pushing through. I'm persevering. I take pride in just persevering and moving forward. But, like, I am doing these things, and, like, just because I don't feel the best. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't feel 100%. I'm trying to find it. I'm searching, y'all. I am searching. And the only way to, like, I'm doing something new. I used to make fun of people for hiking. And now I'm like, yo, I see why people do it. I see why people work out. Remember, I will always say, like, I'm not working out for shit. I'm not doing this. Like, no, it's stupid. I didn't have to. Now my body's changing. Like, that's one thing. But, like, just the things that your psyche and your mental, like, I have to do that for that.
Yeah.
Like, just going on the hikes, I get down, like, the first day. Let me just start by the first day. The first day I did the hike, I had drank the day before. Just being very transparent right now, guys. I drank the day before, and me and my homeboy from Ohio, Zach, we had the idea to go. And we had it for a week, like a couple weeks, but I just never did it. But this time, like, I ended up waking up, and I got a message from him. He said, yo, and this was like 30 minutes before we were supposed to go, because I was going to bail. Like, I was going to bail. Like, just straight up. I was like, hungover. I shouldn't be doing this. Like, I'm dehydrated. And, like,
how late were you up the night before?
I want to say 2 or 3. So, like, and then, like, but this is the thing. He hit me up at 10:30, so I can, like, I can move and, like, you know, make things work. Like, I'm a professional. He ended up, like, FaceTiming me, like, after, like, I seen a message, and no, I FaceTimed him. And I was like, bro, you know, hopefully that he would, like, be like, see my face, like, okay, like, he doesn't want to do it. But he was like, are we still doing it? I was like, yes. And I got up, I jumped up. And, y'all, it was the worst decision of my life. I felt like I was going to die. I was walking up there. He brought his dog, so we're going. I'm like, oh, my God. I just got out the car, and I'm walking up this damn hill, and my calves are on fire. What is going on with me? What happened?
And I'm guessing, did you not, and I'm guessing you probably didn't bring water?
You know I ain't bring water. You know I brought some soda. No, I'm playing. I didn't bring soda. But I brought some water, and I'm walking up, and we start getting up there. We stop. He had to make a phone call. He does, like, real estate or some stuff. So, like, we stopped, and we're talking. I'm like, well, this is great. This is great. We stop it. We're having a good time. I'm, like, on my phone, like, Instagram, and, you know, just, you know, making content. And then we started walking, but we go, like, up this steep ass hill, and we walked up it. I almost slipped, and I don't have good gym shoes, tennis shoes. What are they? Sneakers? I don't know. The hiking shoes. So, like, I kind of slipped, and I was like, okay. We get up there, like, to this, like, weird area, and we do push-ups. I'm like, okay, this is cool. I shouldn't have did the push-ups, y'all. Shouldn't have did the push-ups, and I should have had water. Started walking. I'm like, okay, we're talking. After, like, 5 minutes into it, y'all, I felt the wind. It was hot. Then it got cold. And then I was like, whoa. I ain't never felt like this before. What's going on? What's going on? So I keep walking. I'm like, he looks back. He's like, Keith, are you okay? And I was like, no. But we keep walking. I'm like, I'm going to keep it going. I'm like hoping, like, somehow, some way he would see, like, he could tell that I wasn't good. And like, his dog wasn't either. His dog had, like, a chinchilla fur on. What? Yeah, the dog had a full ass chinchilla fur.
One second.
It was like a
chinchilla is the finest fur, according to Jay-Z.
That's what I'm saying.
The dog had on chinchilla?
Yes, a whole chinchilla fur. So he's just panting. He's like, I'm like, do you see your dog? Your dog's dying. Your dog's dying. And we keep walking. He's like, are you okay? I'm like, no, don't ask me that again. Let's keep going. Like, if you're not going to ask me to go down, let's just keep going. So we keep going. We got up there. Yo, I felt like I was going to die. I didn't feel feel good. But like once, like you know how they tell you don't sit down like and put your hands behind your head. Definitely sat down. Definitely did not do that. It was that bad. Like I didn't feel like I was gonna make it, and I didn't have water, and I will never walk up a damn hill at all. I don't care what hill. If it's just a hill like this that I just made, and I walk over this, I'm carrying some water with me. But did not feel good. But at the same time, at the end, I realized how much just like getting through it was for me. Like just moving, getting over the hill, y'all. Like honestly getting over the hill and fighting for it. Because I did not feel good. I did not feel good, and I don't feel good right now. So I'm just being honest.
Just so you know, it doesn't matter how you get there, okay? All that matters is that you make it to the other side. Because it's the climb.
Is that Miley Cyrus?
That's Miley Cyrus. I might have misquoted.
I was serious. I almost cried and
yeah.
Also,
I shouldn't even write that.
I mean, and plus, if you keep doing the climb, like it'll only get easier. Like, and it's pretty remarkable. Like, if you just keep committing to that, every single time is gonna be easier than the last. And then, you know, maybe one day you'll run up that thing.
Oh, I gotta stop doing a few things for that.
So last clip of the episode, this is from episode 40, where Olivia shares with Courtney, Noah, and Shane about how when she was a child, she made all sorts of weird friends. Here it is.
You always know someone, like earlier today I was like, I was been thinking about doing acupuncture, and you're like, I have a guy that does acupuncture.
I know a lot of I have a lot of sources, but then it's also because I grew up in LA, so like you know, at age 15 I was going to weird places, just doing some investigating work.
When I was a detective.
I would just like I didn't have anyone to talk to. Only child syndrome. I would just go linger at, like, I remember, like, at dollar stores or like liquor stores.
Did you still have your roller backpack?
Yeah, it was
so funny.
Dollar
linger,
stores?
yeah.
And I met many interesting people.
No, and I would just ask them a lot of questions and talk, and like I would become friends with them. And
okay, hold on. We gotta. Olivia, how have I known you for 4.5 years, and I didn't know that when you were a kid you would linger around dollar stores and meet people and find out about their lives.
Oh my God, you guys did. Wait.
What is your childhood?
Well, because my first really good friend that I had in middle school was actually the custodian.
Wow.
Because my mom wouldn't pick me up for ever since elementary school, my mom would not pick me up for like 2 or 3 hours. And then I'd be like, Mom, and then she'd open the trunk. She's like, I was at Kmart. And like, she was like shopping. And like, you guys can't really, it's very rare where I find someone who can relate to my childhood, because my mom would just like leave me at school or like leave me in middle school. And in middle school, I stopped going to after school classes because I hated it. So I would just like wait 3 hours. Like school would end at 3. She'd pick me up at 6, and I would hang out around there was a dollar store. I'd go hang out, and they would close at like 5, and then I'd go back to school and hang out with the custodian.
Wow.
Was the custodian was cool?
So cool.
What's his name?
And that was your first best friend.
That's cool.
What was
We
their
were
name?
very close. I honestly forgot, but we talked about his kids, and then it was
Talk about like, you know,
follow him around.
Trade Pokemon cards.
And then I would help him with this. I really, that's what I did, and I really
solve
liked
mysteries under the school.
And then I used to go to this. I would go to this place called Bentoya, and I would hang out with.
What is your
I would walk down the block and just like I made my stops. I'm like, hey, how you doing today?
Wow.
You were like Belle from Beauty and the Beast, but it was just this street with a dollar store.
And there was a liquor store. Just hang out.
Hey, Olivia. Hey, Olivia.
Hey, how's your wife doing today? Are you guys going on the cruise?
I can actually relate to I still have to like address this with my mom because it's something I really recently figured out, because I'm pretty sure I was left places too. Like McDonald's Play Place or like Barnes & Noble. Yeah.
See, my mom would pick me up, and I would have to then go to the YMCA because she would have a couple more hours of work, and I would just chill at the gym.
Wow.
I wouldn't work out. If I was just a kid, I was just like, no, I was very shy. I would often have like a Game Boy or something, or I would just like chill around.
You missed out.
My first video game experience was a gym daycare playing Spyro.
Oh, that's cool.
I was like Hoda.
Hoda?
You know who she is?
No.
Well, you're talking about. Wait,
I thought that was a
from
video
Good Morning
game.
America?
Yeah.
Why are you like Hoda? What does that have to do?
Because I interviewed everybody.
So you interviewed the custodian. You also interviewed the liquor store.
Yeah.
And you were just a kid. How old were you?
I wasn't interviewing them. I was just talking to them. I was bored.
How old were you though?
That was when I was 14, 13.
You just walk in and be like, "What's up, Marty?" And you'd be like, "How's it going?" You'd be like, "How's your day going?" He's like, "Selling alcohol." And you're like, "That's pretty cool. Can I have some?" He's like, "No." And you're like, "Okay."
No, and then I started getting a car, and that's when it got dangerous.
Oh,
because then you would drive around all of LA and interview everyone.
Well, no, because then I went to this bookstore on Melrose and I met this dude, and he was the first guy that
he was the first guy
Tried to
ever met.
kidnap you?
No, he told me about why am I being so random right now?
Please.
There's a form of art, performance art, where they would put hooks in their bodies.
Oh. And dangle from a
like
ceiling.
the weird stuff.
And so this guy that you met at a bookstore would do that.
Oh, no. He was the first one. Okay, when I was 16.
What?
Sorry, that was
what?
actually the second most memorable
What just
guy.
happened?
The first guy was actually I met at an Amoeba. You know Amoeba?
Yeah, I know Amoeba.
This guy.
Amoeba's a giant record store.
Yeah.
In LA.
In LA. It's about to close down. I met this guy.
Olivia
I think his name was. I forgot his name already. He had curly hair. Anyways, he introduced me to a lot. I know this sounds really creepy, but we were truly friends. I look like a little boy, anyways. So there was nothing.
Is that better?
I know. I was very not scary, you know. And he introduced me to a bunch of awesome movies. And then he also was like, "Oh yeah, I'm also making a documentary about people who were in Psycho."
The movie Psycho?
Yeah.
And this was a long time ago. You remember these conversations?
Yes.
Did after these meetings?
They
with
were
these
not
people,
one meetings.
You would be consistent friends with these people.
Yeah, we're Facebook friends.
Wow.
You still talk to these people?
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not. They're absolutely insane.
They're insane. But I remember being because when you think about it, I grew up in a bubble, and then I would go out into the city and I'd meet a bunch of people, and obviously I would like to know about their lives.
Wow.
Because they lived a life that I didn't.
I have to admit this. You make a lot more sense now. Like who you are makes a lot more sense now that I know that your childhood was a Diablo Cody movie. You were just walking around meeting my best friend's a janitor, a stripper, and a liquor store owner, and a guy who dangles from hooks.
Dude, this guy invited me to a show too. I was like, oh no, can't.
Wow. Is it called chandeliering? What is that called?
I don't know what it's called, but because this guy had a lot of body jewelry on him, and then he was telling me more and more, and I think they didn't have an outlet. You know, how many customers go to the store and ask them about what they do outside of the store?
Yeah, well, I'm at a bookstore. I'm assuming people are going to ask about books.
Yeah.
Hey, this book's really good. Do you put hooks in your body and hang from the ceiling ever?
I remember this conversation.
Wow, no one's ever asked me that before. You're never going to believe this, and that's my passion. Wow. You want to be best friends for right now, but then we'll just be Facebook friends later, and I'll never talk to you again.
I mean, I learned. I mean, I enjoyed doing that way more than being at school.
No, that's awesome because my days after school were so boring at the high school library.
Should've hung out with me.
Ignoring Johnny.
Wow.
My life is nothing compared to yours, Olivia.
You were in LA too?
Not until I was 16.
You could have hung out with me.
We probably hung out. We probably were
You
at
guys have
some
a
point.
lot of similar
we
friends.
have a lot of similar friends that we were probably at the same party at some point.
I was not. I was out.
You were off hanging out with Hookmaster Jim. You were hanging out with the mime you met at Best Buy.
Yeah.
No. But even now, you could ask Sam too. Even now, I love meeting people and just asking them.
Yeah, you're a very curious person. You love to talk to people and ask questions.
I
believe
about you.
that's the thing. I believe everything you're saying. I know you're not making this up, and that's why it's so insane and funny to me.
Well, that does it for the trip down old SmoshCast memory lane of 2019. Guys, this was our first ever year of doing podcasts. We had a whole heck of a lot of fun. I love all my friends, just bringing them in here, talking about stuff, sharing weird things with you guys. I hope you guys learned something from it, or at least we're just entertained. It's been a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to 2020, podcasting some more. So if you're not subscribed to SmoshCast yet on any of the podcast listening apps, go do it Rate us 5 stars. Help grow the Smosh family. And also check us out on the YouTube. That's youtube.com/SmoshCast. And you can see our pretty faces while we talk. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but if you want to see this stupid face, I'm looking forward to 2020. We'll see you guys next time. Mwah.